The 4th of July is right around the corner, and you all know what that means, baby. It's time for the Nathan's annual hot dog eating contest. And joining us now is someone who knows all about it, the cardboard shell herself, the 2021 champion, Michelle Lesco. Now, Michelle, I wanted to start off by saying, let's go, let's go. So there you go. I like the elbow balance too. So the Nathan's competition is to some like the Super Bowl of your sport. Could you walk us through your routine leading up to July 4th? And is there anything you do differently for this occasion?
You know, yeah, like you're saying, it's the biggest event. So whereas some of the other events throughout the year, we might spend a couple weeks practicing with the different foods. This is one where starting back in April, you're sitting in your kitchen, figuring out your best techniques from the year before, looking at those, play-by-play tapes and going, oh man, I slowed down on that fourth plate there. What do I need to do differently? What other techniques do I need to bring into this for next time? So last year, coming out of COVID, it was tricky because I was so out of practice and I had forgotten a lot of the muscle memory and kind of got a late start in training. And I had a lot of techniques that worked, but none of them came together in trainings and somehow came together for the finals, which was great. But this year I find myself in the same boat because last year it wasn't, April, May, June, July, or April, May, June, and early July of training. It was kind of like a month. So I'm still feeling a little bit under practiced. I'm still feeling like I'm getting my bearings back. But yeah, it's the biggest one. It's a lot of pressure.
First and foremost, I did not know there was film watching and hot dog eating contest, so I will salute you all. That was absolutely unbelievable. So when you're talking about going back and watching film, you're the reigning women's champ now. What type of things have you looked at from your game that you're thinking about kind of changing up your approach or maybe even your mindset without giving all the tea and the beans to competition? Yeah.
So one of the big things is if you ever have your hands not working, then you're doing something wrong. Like both your hands should be doing something at all times. And if part of you is not moving forward towards that next thing, then you're wasting time. Like it's a short contest. It feels like an eternity while you're doing it, but it's 10 minutes. So there's no time to waste.
Oh my gosh, I'm learning so much just now. Let's keep this thing rolling because you're like an encyclopedia right now. I'm excited, I'm sorry. All right, so before your title last year, Miki Sudo had a stranglehold on the women's division. In fact, you had come in second to her the past few years. Now, she missed out last year due to maternity leave. And you two, I know, are friends, but this is competition. And when the dog hits the bun, what are you gonna do to make sure that that belt stays with let's go, let's go?
Yeah, like you said, we're good friends. We're our biggest supporters. So I've literally sat there with a practice and had her screaming at me via Zoom to keep me motivated. But once we get to the table, it's every person for themselves. So her techniques are really solid. Not gonna lie, I may have stolen a couple from her over the years. Her and Joey have really figured out the hot dogs. It's a weird food. A lot of the other foods are pretty straightforward, but having the dog in the bun and the different ways to get each of those down fluidly, it's an interesting thing. She has her game on lock, so she's always a force to be reckoned with. There were a couple years where our numbers were really close and I just wasn't able to capitalize. So it comes down to game day conditions. If the dogs are, slightly snappier or slightly more rubbery than they normally are, if the buns are drier or less dry than normal, like it changes what you have to do. So it's all about adapting in the moment, making sure all your trainings have, every possible scenario so that you're better off in those, heat of the moment things.
Don't worry, we're not gonna tag her when we post this because we don't want her knowing that.
Oh, she knows I'm gunning for her.
Okay, good, but we don't want her to know that you picked up a couple of her techniques and you shared with us a couple of your new techniques. So we want to make sure she sees that for the first time when Let's Go defends her title. Thank you for joining us.